for 4.
Stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. This is Monday, November 4th. If you have any questions, comments, please come over to this podium here. We'll give you a chance to tell us what's on your mind. Let's call the roll first.
Mayor Cedar?
Here.
Councilmember Gottler?
Here.
Councilmember Kufa?
Here.
Councilmember Laporte?
Here.
Councilmember Paul?
Present.
Councilmember Volz?
Here.
Councilmember Watt?
Here.
All present, Your Honor.
I think I'm going to need 2 motions here in a minute. One of them is to add to the agenda under new business, A, Boat Harbor Docks 2 and 3. That'll be our first motion, and then the second one is we're going to delete and remove the closed session. So I'll ask for a motion to add A to new business, Boat Harbor Docks 2 and 3.
So moved. Supported.
Questions? Call the roll, please.
Laporte?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Volz?
Yes.
Watt?
Yes.
Gottler?
Yes.
Kufa?
Yes.
Cedar?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. I'll need a motion to delete and remove the closed session.
So moved. Supported.
Questions? Call the roll, please.
Paul?
Yes.
Volz?
Yes.
Watt?
Yes.
Gottler?
Yes.
Kufa?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
Cedar?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Number 4 is consent agenda, City Council minutes of October 21st, 2024, regular meeting, recommendation approve.
So moved. Support.
Motion made, supported, questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Let's go to 5A, ordinance adoption 2024-6 fireworks. Mr. Bishop, Mr. Downey.
I can have that, Your Honor. Your Honor, members of council, before you is the adoption of the ordinance introduced at the second meeting of October, which specifically, it amends our fireworks ordinance to earmark the first $500 of a $1,000 fine to the City of St. Clair Police Department, the entity, the agency that's writing the ticket. Absent that language, all the money that's assessed under the fine would revert to St. Clair County. So we're just updating our ordinance to adhere to that requirement of the state statute.
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Support.
All right, motion made, supported, questions? All right, call the roll, please.
Volz?
Yes.
Watt?
Yes.
Gottler?
Yes.
Kufa?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Cedar?
Yes.
Ordinance adopted.
Thank you. All right, number 6 is reports of administration. Mr. Bishop, you got anything?
I sure do. I have a few things I'd like to go over this evening. First off, I just want to give a quick an update on brush collection and leaf collection. Brush collection, it does happen on the first, second, third, and fourth Monday of the month. First Monday of the month, as we know, it's north of Brown. Second Monday is between Brown and Vine. Third Monday is between Vine and Clinton, and the fourth Monday of the month is Clinton and South. Just a reminder about the brush. If anybody has any questions, or if any resident has any questions about what should and should not be put us to the side, then go on our website, cityofstclair.com, and under the departments of the DPW, they can see exactly what can and can't be. And also the map. This map is also available online. I printed it off for tonight for review, so we can take a look at that. Tis the season. We're thinking about that. There's a lot of spring cleanup right now, which brings me into another announcement about leaf collection. So we do have Monday through Friday leaf collection throughout the city. There is a great map online. It talks about the route and what sections. It's a little more broken up as opposed to those wards I just described. But Monday through Friday, there is leaf collection. And they're just asking that leaves should be raked onto the curb. It's easier for the vac truck to do its work and not be compacted on the road, especially if it gets wet. Another thing, too, if it's in the road, it does clog up catch basins. And if it does have a heavy rain, it can cause some additional problems. So their DPW is asking that the leaves should be raked just to the curb, and they'll take it from there. Again, leaf pickup right now, Monday through Friday.
Does that basically go until they don't have any to pick up?
Right, until we get it all cleaned up, and then they will have a shut-off date, and I'll make that announcement when they do pick that, but, we're good through the month of November for sure.
I got to say that leaf cleanup machine is incredible, and it has quite a range from the side of the machine itself out into the. So, I think it's just a marvelous purchase that we've made here.
Yeah,
It's pretty awesome.
It's a nice piece of equipment, that's for sure. I also want to give notice that we recently submitted with an intent to apply through the state revolving loan programs, and we needed to have this in by last Friday. What I'm pursuing right now is a grant for through the Clean Water State Revolving Loan Fund. And what this is going to do is this going to put emphasis on our wastewater treatment plant. In March of 2023, Fishbeck made an evaluation, and there were 4 key categories that they wanted corrections at the wastewater treatment plant. It totaled at that time to be close to $4 million in March of 2023. And so in order to even be considered for this funding, we actually need to apply. We need to get our name in the hat. They score our project, and from that score lets us know if we would be eligible for it. It's in its very infancy stage right now. The detail that I do have, if we were to qualify and pursue, would be a low interest loan and be right around 1.8 to 2%, which is a relatively cheap money if you put it that way. You might want to ask, what is this going to entail? So we would focus on the collection system improvements, the preliminary treatment improvements, trickling filter replacement, and the solids handling improvements. And what that does is it replaces failing equipment to maintain effluent water quality, and it replaces equipment at the wastewater treatment plant to protect city staff. We did take a tour of the plant with easy operations and staff, and we walked around just to double check, triple check that what we were applying for is still relevant, and it is. I'll know more in the coming months on how well we score, but it was imperative that if we wanted to be considered for the loan, that we needed to turn in our intent to apply. And so I did do that, and we'll see where that goes. Want to give a quick update about Gulf Street. So they will be starting on Wednesday, clearing the roads for the mill and fill project that we've talked about in the past. Notices went out to residents about a week and a half ago. We will be using Aztec Asphalt. They are the same crew that performed our programs earlier this spring, and they're coming back. They did a nice job. We had one incident with a resident. There was rod left in the ground, and it caused an insurance claim. Typically, when that happens with a contract, there's a ton of back and forth, and I didn't do it, and he said, she said, that type of stuff. That was not Aztec's approach whatsoever. They said, yep, that was a mistake. It should have been done. And they directly handled the insurance claim for our resident. So I thought that spoke to their character. And I anticipate another smooth job, hopefully.
Start and end when?
Wednesday and then through the week. And then we'll wrap up, all the weather dependent. But and we're supposed to be pretty dry for the rest of the week. But starting Wednesday and then wrapping up next week. It's only, we're talking a few blocks, so it's going to be a pretty easy job. All things considering.
Are you doing the corners too at Harriet and Laura?
Yeah, we will.
And Palmer.
I'm glad you said that. They will be running it right up through Harriet and around the corner up into that first catch basin to tie in with the existing road, and then right up into Laura. So right on up the road.
And Palmer too. I misspoke.
No, Palmer's been done east and west, but they will do into the intersection just a little bit. They're not. They won't go beyond.
Talk about the catch basin, where that is.
Totally separate project.
Okay.
Yep, that's a totally separate project. And so we're going back in a little back and forth right now. And this is not necessarily the contractor on this one. This is actually the engineering group. So the engineering group, the way that the way the specifications called for that, it actually meets the specifications. So now it's with AEW to say, if that doesn't hold, if that doesn't take on once the restoration's in, which frankly, I don't think so. I think it's too level with the road to hold back any real water. And the position of the catch basin is right at the end of the ramp. And so any type of clog that you're going to have, we're going to have issues there. So I anticipate that they're going to have some type of redo on that corner. But as of right now, it's not a contractor issue because they built it to spec. But we are working through that issue right now with AEW. Okay? Just a quick update about the bike path. We were out there last week. We walked it again with the contractors, made our last rounds of what needs to be done, spot checking homes. If you were to go last week, you'd see significant holes in the ground where they were repaving and moving those walls. If you went by there today, you'd actually see that it's all poured in and the driveways have actually been lowered. And so now you're not pointing at the sky. If Ms. Adele was here, I'd tell Ms. Adele time and time again that it was something that we needed to correct. I've apologized profusely about the time it's taken, but it will be corrected. What needs to happen now is they need to remove sections of their driveway to level with now the new approach and driveway, which is now at a lower level, so it's an easier incline to get in. Curb cuts are going to be occurring next. Curb cuts are going to allow for a wider approach into the driveway, so it's not as tight. You're not making 90-degree turns. They're going to be moving the curve back on the edges of the driveway and cutting them at 45s, and that will allow for smoother entrance into their driveways.
Do you have any further update what they're gonna do about the wall, the appearance?
Actually, the wall, the way it was spec'd out, is considered structural concrete, so their job is done as it is. I think it's going to be up to us to actually do something with it. A better finish, a better facade. I would like to, I don't know into what detail and how we want to go about it, but I do think that we need to get some input from the community. It's in front of their homes, and they're going to look at it. And I think we need to take a little bit of time to decide what that's going to look like, and then actually execute on that plan and get the facade up. Okay? That's all I have this evening.
Any questions from Mr. Downey, you got anything?
Nothing this evening, Your Honor.
All right, any questions for a lawyer? Any city departments?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Early voting was very smooth. It concluded on Sunday. We had record-breaking numbers, as most of the county did as well. So 1,150 residents voted early during those 9 days. We've also processed 1,186 absent voter ballots, which brings our voter turnout already to 49%.
Whoa.
So tomorrow should be extra smooth. We're ready. We think everything will be fine. We have St. Clair Police Department, of course, and county first responders on standby just in case, but we are ready. Polls are open tomorrow, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. at all 3 polling locations. And if you haven't voted, we will see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Good plug.
Can you tell us those polling locations?
Yes, Ward 1 is here in the municipal building and in the community room upstairs. Ward 2 is here in this room. You can see it's partially set up for tomorrow. And Ward 3 votes at Pine Shores Golf Course.
What was the typical turnout before the early voting?
Typical turnout on election day?
Yeah.
Well, I looked back, 2020 was a little different. So we had a majority of absent voter ballots then. So we had a high turnout of AV ballots in 2020 because of the circumstances. 2016 would be a more plausible guess. And on election day, in person, between 700 and 800 people per precinct.
Which is what percent? Ish.
Um,
Probably about 50%.
Of voter turnout? Well, our highest voter turnout was the 2020 election, which was a 76% turnout.
Okay.
So with the AV ballots and the in-person. So I expect to beat that tomorrow.
That's incredible.
Especially since we're already
Yeah.
so high. So it'll be a steady stream of people, and we'll have record high numbers again. And we'll see if we get the highest in St. Clair County, which will be kind of neat. So I'll let you guys know at our next meeting with a full report.
Thank you. Any
You're
other
welcome.
departments? Go to D, any authorities, boards, commissions, chairs? No unfinished business, new business A, Bold Harbor Docks 2 and 3, Mr. Bishop.
What you have in front of you, council, is an itemized bid for St. Clair Boat Harbor. This is the group of individuals doing this work is the same group of tech students that redid Dock 1 for us. And so they did a fantastic job. What this represents is an itemized bid for docks 2 and 3. And what will be performed is removal and install of all the cleats, removal and reinstall of all the ladders, replacing all broken carriage bolts and cleats and ladders, replace all broken locking nuts and washers, cleats, ladders, removal, demolition, dock boards. They're going to repair any damaged stringers that are underneath that you can't see, reframe and repair supports to the gas station shed, frame, reinforce, and flash all the gas pumps. And that will all be certified via Eagle too. So when it's done, we'll have checks and inspections to make sure that that is green light go. Frame and reinforce the charging pedestals, cut and install new dock boards, and they are going to donate about 250 pounds of screws. Material costs coming in from Dave Shorkey. He has a deal with Buer Lumber. They're the ones that supplied the lumber for Dock 1. They'll be supplying it for Docks 2 and 3. And the total out the door cost, when you see that at the bottom, those are for both docks. On the high end, not to exceed $47,700. On the low end, they anticipate around $40,200 plus material of the boards. The boards are running about 20 or so, and so we're right at the money of where our capital improvement plan suggested that we be. So we anticipated between, I think, $64,000 for the project out the door. So we're right in that ballpark, and that's why I've asked them to keep it. I think it's fantastic. I think it's just another opportunity not to just upgrade the marina and the harbor, but I believe we're all firm supporters in training young people in the skilled trades. And I think that the more opportunities that we can do that with our youngest people, teaching them a skilled trade and put them in real working situations and not classroom lab environments, but real world, right? Get out in the elements, work with customers, work with a vendor, work with a project team, right? The whole 9 yards. I think it's excellent real world experience. And so my recommendation is that we move forward with this itemized bid as you have before you, and we can begin work immediately.
So moved.
Support.
Motion made, supported. Questions?
So in the labor cost, where it breaks out to 300 hours, 7 workers, $100,000, $200, is that them just trying to provide an estimate of what it should be, and then they're breaking out student hours?
Yes.
And what's left?
Yeah, that was just a comparison about if you went retail and what that would be like if you brought on a private contractor. I think what they were trying to do was, kids help, with these things. They're trying to highlight that if you were to go to market, this would probably cost you versus by going with them.
Okay. And we're not infringing, I know we did this before, but any of the bidding rules or any of that, we're not going to have to field questions about whether we followed protocol. And
I think, I have, by city charter, anything over $10,000 is supposed to go out and do the bid. I do have the ability to suspend that rule and to go with what I feel is the best bid and make that recommendation. Seeing that they did a great job on dock number 1, and it's a continuation of that project, because we discussed with them that, hey, if you do a nice job and it's something we would return to, I'd like to see you continue doing it. So if the board would like to see anything official from me in writing suspending that rule, I'm happy to do so, but I'd like just to carry on in what we did last time, and my recommendation is that we do work with the same tech students and their teacher foreman.
I think it's a fantastic program. We're supporting our local tech program with it. So there's a ton of benefit from it. Just wanted to make sure.
We're following
Questions
protocol.
come?
Yep, good question.
Excellent.
Good question. Nope, we're on the up and up.
Thank you.
It says they can start 10/26/24, I think.
Well, they were ready to start, and I said, you know what? I would love for you to start, but there's a board meeting on November 4th, and I'm just going to go ahead and make sure this is good to go before we start demolishing docks. And they're well aware if this goes south, or if it wasn't approved, that they wouldn't be doing the project. But they were ready to go, like I said, about 2 weeks ago.
All right. Is the support for the motion?
Liberals.
Right, the motion made, supported. Any questions? Call the roll, please.
Watt,
Yes.
Fowler,
Yes.
Stufa,
Yes.
Laporte,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Volt,
Yes.
Peter.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Number 9 is claims and accounts for October 24th, October 30th, 2024.
Hearing no questions, Your Honor, I make a motion to approve as presented.
Support.
Questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Go to number 10, public questions, public comments. Anybody have anything non-agenda they would like us to talk about tonight? Keep it to 3 minutes, please.
You had mentioned last meeting about the garbage containers. When do we order them? Or when can we order them?
Great question. And when you said that, this reminded me.
Frank Weiss, 1104 Clinton Avenue, sorry.
Gotcha, Frank. You know what I'll do? I'll give you a call. I'll call you back. Let me get Jill Reynolds on the phone, and let me get all the particulars. She gave me the announcement the day of the meeting. That's why I made that announcement. They're not deployed yet by any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
And so she's supposed to be giving me, 30-day heads up. We need to roll this out, and then all the policies and procedures
Yeah,
on
you
that.
had mentioned December, so that's why.
It's coming, I know. And she hasn't, and quite frankly, she has not called me back or given me any updates. So, I'll get on the horn with her tomorrow, see what I can find out.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Anything else? I'll write that down.
I have came in front of you guys probably three,
Can you
maybe
give us your
four
name and
ti-
address, please?
I'm sorry?
Give us your name and address, please.
Devin Michael Strzelecki, 1895 South Allen Road. Good to go?
Would go.
Okay. I had asked the city to address me with a written letter. I have never gotten that request with police towing. I've been up here 6 different times. I'm taking different roads. I'm trying to get a written response, and I've not gotten anything in writing yet. So with the chief being here, I had a few questions that I wanted to ask him and bring it to light, because every meeting that I've been to, he has not been here. So my first question is if Brigette's can't handle...
Devin, ask us, and then we'll bring him up in a while to answer
Okay.
the questions. Thank you.
All right. So my first question is if the towing company you have can't handle the calls, he had told me that S&S does it. So with that being said, why is another out-of-town company doing work that I could be doing, and why is it at his discretion? And another thing too is the county, which I have an application in with for the police towing, actually does a pretty in-depth background check to a checklist. And you guys did respond to me with, there is no contract. So with that being said, has there been any background checks being ran? Because I already know the answers. And I just, I need to do it in writing and obviously on video. Because this has been an ongoing issue. I feel like there's a couple other tow companies that have not gotten a crack at it. It's not gone up for bid. It's not done anything. You know, one company has had it for the past 10 years that I know of. So my issue is there's no contract, there's no background check, there's stuff going on that shouldn't be going on, and I feel like the chief is overseeing it, kind of. I know I'll never get a crack at it, but at least when I do this and write my letter, at least I can say, hey, this video was here, I tried, I have not gotten a response, and it's kind of sad, you know? You worked so hard for something, and then you've got all these roadblocks. So that's all I got.
All right, thank you, Devin.
Yep.
All right. Anybody else?
Can I talk from here? I'm kind of loud, or, because it'll take me another 5 minutes to use the microphone.
Go ahead.
Okay, my name is Marie Broll. My address is 1504 South Riverside Avenue, and on the corner of Palmer and Riverside. And I come tonight because I have a pod in my yard, and you know, it's one of those trailers where you store things in and stuff, you know. Anyhow, I've had this pod in my yard, and I'm being cited for it, you know, and fined. Well, the first time I was fined $75, you know, and I didn't know anything about it. I thought, well, you know, I was having my basement waterproof to the tune of $19,000. Then I found out that the storage unit, according to your rules and regulations, can only be used for 2 days. Now, you spend $19,000 on waterproofing. They dig up the inside as well as the outside and stuff, you know. I wanted it done right, you know, because I had all these watermarks and stuff. The house is over 100 years old. And so anyhow, as a result, there's no company. I mean, you know, I'd have to have a ton of manpower out there digging it up and putting it back in place in 2 days. I thought that law in your books was put in place, you know, just for something to do when they first started out and stuff. It's not reasonable, you know? And if you could find me a crew that can waterproof for 2 days, I'll buy that, you know, and stuff. Anyhow, as it turned out and stuff, the company that I had, the contract that I signed, they did it in 2 years, you know, because of the weather and stuff, you know. And so anyhow, But I found out that this pod was an eyesore. And I thought to myself, an eyesore, and I looked around the neighborhood and I saw what an eyesore is, and so, and I thought to myself, I got everything contained in it and stuff, and I have the yard mowed and stuff on a weekly basis, and the leaves are, blowing away now and stuff. Anyhow, I try to keep my place up as much as I possibly can. In fact, since I've owned the place for the last 14 years, I have replaced everything in that house. I did a metal roof, took down a tree that was 96 foot high and over 5 feet wide, not in circumference, but wide, because it was putting a hole in the roof. And I thought, why should I waste some money on putting a new roof on? I gotta get rid of the problem, and stuff. So then I got stopped doing that because they said, you need a permit to take down the tree. And I says, you gotta be kidding me. And they said, no, they says, we can cite you now. And I said, just a minute. So I told the guys, I said, come on down, And so we went the next morning to the city. We couldn't go that day because it was an election day. Anyhow, so we went the next day to the city, and one of the guys that owned the company, he came with me and he brought a piece of the tree and showed that it was diseased and stuff, and that was a reason to take the tree down, and stuff. Inside the tree, it was all like topsoil, it was all black, nice topsoil and stuff, but, anyhow, so managed to get the tree down with a $5 permit and stuff, but, so that came down, and I also re-sided the house, changed the color, instead of just slapping some more stain on it and stuff. I had the whole house re-sided, new shutters, new windows, I've got an enclosed porch and stuff, I went windows all around and stuff, and upstairs too. And I did the garage too, of course, and stuff. And I put new shutters on, and I put the gutters that are maintenance free, and stuff. Put those on. I mean, I didn't stop at any expense and stuff. I thought I'm gonna do it, and it's gonna be maintenance free. And I mean, do I look like I need to get on a ladder, and stuff? But anyhow, as a result, so I got fined again for this pod and stuff, The $75 was the first fine, I paid that. Then all of a sudden I get one for like $300, another $500, $750. I thought to myself, whoa, I just paid my taxes, and all of a sudden my fines are starting to get almost as high as my taxes, and stuff. And so anyhow, I think it's not fair, Somebody wants to keep up their place and stuff, and it's just not fair. Granted, the pot is still there, but in order to get rid of the pot, I have to put the stuff back in the basement, and I wasn't going to put everything back. I was going to give a lot to, Habitat for Humanity and stuff like that, And so anyhow, as a result, I've got, I can't do that because I gotta put the concrete back in place where they dug it up in the basement and stuff. And not only that, but then the company told me to go 30 inches high, to remove the drywall, 30 inches high and stuff. So I did that and stuff, and then come to find out, I needed like, less than 10 inches. I said, you gotta be kidding me. And I said, this is gonna cost me an arm and a leg to redo all the drywall, get it all repainted and stuff. And so anyhow, I decided I was gonna go with like in a kitchen, where you got the paneling half, not half up, but a third up, and then I decided I was gonna have the molding around stained. I've already got it stained and stuff, but it's got to be put in place.
Excuse me, Maria, let me stop you right here. You're a little, I let you go a little over there because your story was very enthralling, but after the meeting, hang around because I'm sure administration's going to want to get your name and phone number, and he'll do some investigating on this. But thanks for coming in and letting us know. But Mr. Bescher's going to talk to you after this meeting in a few minutes.
Oh, okay, so don't stop here? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, stop here.
Okay,
Just
and then...
hang here. Just wait a minute, and he's going to come up.
Hang tight. I'll have a conversation with you about all this.
Okay, fine,
Yeah.
because I mean, like, this is a long story.
Yeah, it's a very long story.
You guys want to vote tomorrow, don't you?
Good point. All right, thank you, Maria. Okay, anybody else? Okay, we'll go to number 11 then. I'll just re-enter it. City clerk, tomorrow's voting 7 to 8.
You know, I'll add to my report. I know the presidential election is overshadowing, but we do have a local election. So good luck to everybody running tomorrow. There's a race in Ward 3, so as elected administrator, it's exciting. Not so much to the people running, but, because there's only 2 seats, but it's exciting to me to have a race. So good luck to everybody.
Good luck to everybody. I don't have anything else. Anybody?
Hearing nothing, Chair, and I make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Everybody good night. Be safe, be kind, vote.